me. And there's a lot of different classes and different instructors here as well. Before we begin, I would like to say hello to Amber, who is the Adult Services Librarian at Clearwater Public Library, and she is listening in here, so let's give her a round of applause. Hey, Amber.
Thanks, guys.
Did you want to say anything, Amber?
Just thank you guys for taking these classes and continuing to support the library, even though everything has to be virtual right now. Hopefully we'll get back to in-person classes soon.
Yes, hopefully so. There's going to be some renovations at the library, so it's going to be closed for a while. But when it opens again, it's going to be new and improved and better than ever. So, yay. All right, so I'm going to move the view to the easel in just a second. Before I do, I want to recap when it comes to the proportions of the human skull. We human beings are beautifully proportionate, but we're not symmetrical. So if you put a mirror in the center of the face, one side does not equal the other side. There are slight differences between the two. So it's up to you as the artist to notice those little differences and to capture them. So in terms of proportion, the eye level, which is about where my glasses are, to top of the skull, which is above the forehead, top of the skull is where the hair is equal to eye level to chin. And that's just one chin, don't count all the others. And from the profile, that same measurement, eye level to chin or top of the skull, is the same for the back of the eye to the back of the ear. So that helps you place where the features go. That we went over with our last drawing class. This drawing class, we're gonna focus on facial features and how to draw them more accurately. The biggest problem with teaching adults how to draw is teaching you to forget everything that you've learned and to stop substituting a stored, memorized symbol and instead to actually see and draw what you see. So we're going to go to the easel now, and I'll show you what I mean. Now, many people start off by drawing an eye as this almond-shaped thing with an eyeball in the center and lashes. And it couldn't be further from the truth. This is more like a cartoon of somebody whose toe just got stepped on. Instead, when you're drawing an eye, we want to start off with the eyeball, because eyes are actually a rounded shape, so they're spherical. So I'm going to start off with this sphere, this circle. This is the eyeball itself. Now, in the eyeball, and I'm going to demonstrate this, and then I'm going to walk you step by step through it so you can follow along with me. So if you want to just watch for the first go round, feel free. So this is the eyeball. Now on the eyeball, there's going to be that iris that has the color, the pupil that's dark. The eyeball, you never see the whole thing at once. This get in the shower or something. Oops. Instead, what you see is where the eyelids open up, and the eyelids come about halfway over the eyeball itself. So here's the corner of the eye. This is the inner corner of the eye. This is the outer corner. And then this is, this is the eyelid. So the eyelid actually covers quite a bit of the eye. So you really don't see that much of the eye at any given time. So once you cover once you cover that much Here's the corner, and here's the outer corner. Here's the eyelid that goes back. This is still the eye socket. Now, underneath the eye socket, we're probably going to have some wrinkles. It's very rare that you don't have some kind of difference between the bottom part of the eye and the face. On the top of the eye socket, this is where the eyebrow sits. So you usually have like the dark hairy part comes up and arches right over this circle. So this would be the eyebrow. And it rests on top of the ridge above that eye socket. So that helps to shape the eye and shape the gaze. You don't really see that much of the eye socket. Instead, you see the dark shadow from where the eyelid tucks in, and you see a shadow that goes right up to the ridge of the eyebrow. And then the eyelid emerges out of that. Now, when it comes to the lashes, you don't often see the lashes so much as you see a dark edge on the eye. So the lashes are never the full-on circular curly cues that we drew as kids. Instead, they're more like a darker edge. And then curve that back a little. Bring this a little more naturally. So this is more of a natural looking eye. And then here's that corner, which is usually lighter because it's coming up on the side of the nose. So this is how you draw a more natural looking eye. So let's do this together step by step. So the first thing we're going to do is start off with a small circle, and the circle is the eyeball itself. So it's a very rounded shape. A little darker so you can see it. So you're making a rounded shape, and that's the actual eyeball itself. Okay, now that eyeball is going to be covered. Here's a corner of an eye here. Here's the upper lid, corner of the eye here. Here's the lower lid. So we're only going to see a little bit of it. So go ahead and cover up some of it. Now, under the shape of the eye here, we'll see just part of the eye peeking out. And that's the rounded retina. Inside the retina is the darker pupil, which will usually have a highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and make that pupil pretty dark so you can see it. And then I'm just putting some color in the retina. All right, now just so you know, I'm muting everyone, and if you have a question, just unmute yourself at any point and ask. All right, now again, you never see the whole retina, the whole eyeball. The only time you see that is if you scare the heck out of somebody. So you really don't want to see that. Instead, you're going to see it half lidded or cut off on the top and or the bottom by the eyelid. Now, once you have that in place, we're going to put in the shape of this eyelid. Now, this is really the dark shadow caused by the eye coming forward and the eye socket. So the eyelid itself is emerging out of the shadow. Up here in the corner is where that eyebrow would start. So I'm going to put in a few little hairs, and then I'm going to make that eyebrow arch right up above and curve around. Okay. Then you have the lashes on the eyelid, which are really just attached to the lid, and then they curve out from the lid. And they create a dark edge right along that lid. Then the bottom part of the eyelid is where the actual eyeball itself is coming out of the head. So you see a little shadow, and that curves around along the bottom side as it comes away from the face, just a bit. Okay. And then you might want to erase out highlights on the pupil and the retina if you haven't already. Now, each eye is going to be shaped a little differently. You'll have some eyes that are more almond shaped. You'll have some eyes that are wider, some that are narrower, some that are box-like, some that are under heavy folds of eyelids, especially on elderly people, and so forth. So you really have to look at a particular eye to be able to draw it. Can everyone see a picture of themselves in the Zoom thing? If you're seeing only this part, go to the top where it says speaker view and click until it says gallery view. And you should be able to see a picture of yourself. Okay, now on your self picture, I want you to draw your eye. Yes, that means you. Draw your eye. Now you may have to take off your glasses and go in close to the camera, or you may be able to catch a good look at somebody else's eye and draw them. But go in close and draw your eye. If you happen to be lucky enough to have your husband sitting next to you, you can draw each other's eyes. I love that look, Rita. This is so much fun for me. I hope you're enjoying it. Kathy, no fair. You can't draw his eyes. You're muted. Make sure you unmute. What a little cutie. Hi, puppy. Okay, start putting finishing touches. That's a great way to do it. It's hard to look at yourself, isn't it? Most of us, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, it's a quick glance to make sure we don't have a smear of ketchup across our face or paint. It's rare that you actually look in the mirror and see how beautiful those features really are, how nice those lines are, the delicate shadows in the corners of the eyes and the brow and so forth. But each time you sketch somebody, you cannot help but fall in love with them.
I sure have a lot of bags under my eyes. You're right. I don't spend that much time observing how baggy they are. I need to sleep better.
Yeah, it always amazes me how much older I've gotten each time I have. Whoa, where did that 10 years come from? Where did that new wrinkle come from? Okay, so as you finish up, when you're done, let's have a show of eyes. So take your sketch, put it beside your eye, and put your eye up to the camera, and I'll take the spotlight off. Okay, that's good. Now, Kathy, make sure you can see your eye. There you go. Wow. Good job, Kathy. Good job, Rita. You're drawing your actual eye. I love it. Arlene, good job on the hubby. That looks great. Oh, lovely. Very lovely. Oh, nice job on Arlene. Vivian, those are beautiful. Really beautiful. You guys are doing a great job with it. How for you, Brenda? You're muted. I snuck in and muted you when you weren't looking. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So you're using a cute little boy. All right. So you can yourself if you want at this point. Does anyone have any questions about capturing eyes? There's a thunderstorm, so there may be a lull in the connectivity. So bear with me if we get knocked off. Stay put and I'll be right back. There's a thunderstorm happening right now. So it's in. Okay, good. So we're gonna move on from eyes. You may want a fresh piece of paper. If you have room left on this one, that's fine. You can use the same one. Now, what's underneath the eyes is the nose. And this really shows you how planar the nose is. Most of us draw a nose like a L shape, and it's a symbol for a nose, but noses actually start off with a big rounded shape. They have rounded shapes on the side. They have flat planes here, and so forth. So the nose actually has a lot more shape to it than we're used to seeing, especially up in here. Now, we know from the last class that our nose is exactly 1 eye width. So what that means is if we measure from the corner of the inside of the eye to the corner of the outside of the eye, and then from the corner of this eye to the corner of this eye, it's the same. Also here, so the nose is 1 eye width wide, both on the top and on the bottom. So we think of noses as being these big bulbous things, but actually this is the corner of the eye. It always lines up with the corner of the eye. So if you dropped a plumb line straight down from the corner of the eye, you hit the corner of the nose. So how this looks on the drawing board is we're gonna start off, now maybe I'll get a clean sheet of paper. We're gonna start off with a big circle. This big circle is the center part of the nose. You see how big that is? That's this bulbous part on the nose. So start off with your big circle. Okay, now this circle sits on a flat surface. So this flat surface is underneath the circle. I'm cutting off the bottom of it with this flat surface, and I'm making 2 other circles that intersect it. These 2 other circles are the same as these shapes right here. So you can see this circle shape really well on the giant plaster nose. By the way, this is the nose that was knocked off the Sphinx in Egypt. So if you were ever wondering what happened, it's here at Dunedin Fine Arts Center. Okay, so now we have the 2 smaller circles, the 1 larger circle. We have a bridge to the nose. The nose is wider at the bottom. So it starts on the sides of that circle. And then as it comes up to the corners of the eye, it gets smaller. So up here would be about where the corner of the eye would be. Now, on the sides of the nose, these are at a different plane. So they're sort of like a blanket that's wrapping around on the nose. Let me show you up close what I'm talking about. This shape is the same as this shape right here. This shape off to the side is the same as this shape. So you can see they're slightly different plane. It's helpful if you shade it, and that helps you see it as being off to one side. Okay, and then now we have the nostrils. So this gives us the top part of the nose, the middle part of the nose. The nostrils are these small little dark shapes. This often comes down. And then this is a little dark shape on the bottom of the circle. This is the outer edge of the nostril, outer edge. So what we're looking at are these little shapes right inside here. So you can see there's a little curve. This is dark. Little curve. And this is dark. And this is still a big bulbous shape. Now, the tip of the nose is a rounded shape. So as a rounded shape, you're getting a crest shadow. So the crest shadow is darker on the bottom. The light's hitting it from the top. So here's the middle value. Here's the crest shadow. The way to get that is you would be sketching on the shadowy part. So this shows you that it's a rounded form. Okay, and then the top part is going to be much lighter. So I'm going to get rid of some of my guidelines here. And I'm going to shade around the nose so that it looks a little more natural. Okay, so the nose has a lot of shape to it, a lot of roundness to it. It's not just like a sharp, angular thing. Okay, everybody caught up? Give me a thumbs up if you're caught up. Okay, I'll give you another minute. Okay, any questions on sketching a nose? So you can unmute if you have a question. So a good thing to keep in mind about the nose is the nose may come out like a ski slope, but it's still only one eye width wide. The nose may be flat and wide on the face, but that means that the eyes are spaced a little further apart too. So the nose is always one eye width. So you'll never guess what we're gonna do next.
John, thank you so much for that walkthrough. I find the nose so difficult, but all that step by step and even the basics, the width of the eye is so helpful.
Excellent. Well, now you get to put that into action. So we're gonna sketch our own nose. So same concept, looking in the mirror or into your camera. We're gonna start off, I'm gonna get a clean sheet of paper. We're gonna start off with a large circle for the center part of the nose. And then slightly up higher from that, we're going to put 2 smaller circles off to the side. So now you have the basics for your nose. Now look in the mirror and sketch your nose exactly as you see it. If not yours, sketch whoever's next to you or whoever you can catch looking into the Zoom thing.
If you keep staring into the screen, we can see your nose very well.
If you look close enough, you can see right up my nose.
There's a hair in the left nose.
So fresh. That's a hair.
Okay.
Kathy, what's that exasperated look about? Unmute yourself. I think you have to unmute your phone, your iPhone. Now click the little red microphone.
I said I did a good try.
Okay, that's good. A good try is good. You know, there's a lot of stories as to why Vincent van Gogh cut off his ear. And the one that I choose to believe is that he did about 50 self-portraits in the course of a couple of years. And he used to complain to his brother bitterly that he hated his ear. In every self-portrait, he felt like he screwed it up. He never could get it right. And he would paint it over and over and over again. And finally, one day, he cut it off. Now,
It's one way to get rid of it.
yeah.
I heard, I think I told you this, I heard that he was hearing voices, and to get rid of the voices, he cut it off. But he was in an insane asylum, so could be.
Maybe all of the above.
Could be, yeah.
So let's see that nose.
I'll take the glasses off so you can see it better. Here's my eye and my nose.
I'm going to put you in the spotlight. Okay, what I like about your nose is you made it rounded on the bottom.
Yeah, I do have a rounded and
Uh-huh.
big nostrils.
Uh-huh. So you drew it exactly as you saw it. Don't worry if it isn't exact or perfect. You're getting there. What's important is you're seeing. You're able to see it.
Yeah,
So the next time it'll be even easier. And you happen to be in luck because there's about to be a next time.
okay.
And how's everyone else doing? Who else has finished? Joe, are you finished with Arlene? Okay, unmute. Unmute and we'll talk to you. And I'm spotlighting you guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, nope, that was the camera.
Do that.
That's better. Now we need you to turn the camera back on.
My camera is not going on. Why not?
It's up there. Hit it, Joe.
I don't know, but that's a pretty cool painting.
We had a little
It's
issue.
my Venus.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Go back to this. That's strange. We lost control of this thing for a second here.
That's a common problem with technology. I think demons take it over.
That's strange. I can't get, there we go.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, you're back. Wonderful. Okay, so
Has a dot on the end of her nose.
Did you put my dot?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you have to put my
ah,
your Venus. And
There you go. There's the dot on her nose.
that's the joke with everything I paint in the house. It always has a dot on the nose.
you're too funny. Actually, put that back up. That's pretty good. Joe, let's put it back up. That is pretty good. Okay, so you got the roundedness of it. Yep, and you got the top part. That looks great. Don't
Thank
worry
you.
about getting it perfect. Just worry about getting the shape, the overall shape.
Yep.
So Arlene, did you do his nose too?
Mine looks like my grandma's toys.
Well, it's rounded on the bottom.
Yep.
Have some good value.
There's more down here.
Like a person.
Yeah, it looks like Xavier's toys.
Well, it's definitely not as wide or volumetric as his. That's
No,
Looks like mine.
big, so that's
it does.
good job. How lucky you are to have each other to model.
Yeah, we are.
Vivian, would you like to unmute? Oh, you have such a cute nose. Spotlighting you. That's beautiful.
Look at that laugh lines. This is really significant.
That looks good.
You know, that really
Very nice.
your nose.
Oh,
Beautiful. You really captured your nose. Good job.
thanks.
Very nice. It's awkward, isn't it, when you're drawing yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's used to it. Brenda, how you doing? Unmute yourself. And I'm going to put you in the spotlight. Click the little red microphone. Can you see it? No? Call one of those cabin boys in. Okay, so show your nose and you'll just have to hear us and we won't hear you. You don't want to show your nose? Okay, I'll let you off the hook. Rita, would you like to show yours? Still muted. I'm putting you in the spotlight. Oh, wow, and you put some color in it too.
I didn't know my nose looked like that. I never paid that much attention. I don't like it. I might like it much less.
You're not as happy with that nose as you were earlier. Well, I think you have a pretty cute nose. You did a good job on it too. I like how you got the volumetric roundness to the bottom. And that's what we're looking for, you know, not letting it be like a flat shape, but having some shape to it, having some roundness. So you accomplished that. Okay, anybody else want to show their nose? Okay. All right, then we will move to the mouth. The mouth. I'm going to move you guys back to the drawing board here. Now, the mouth, well, before we do that, let me put the spotlight here, get Rita off the hook. The mouth always intersects the pupils of the eye. So the mouth is much wider than we often think it is. So if you were to drop a line from the pupil straight down, you hit the corner of the mouth. And this is true on both sides, regardless of whether you're smiling or not. So you can see the corners of the mouth are lined up with the pupils, the dark parts of the eye. So that doesn't mean that the lips stretch out that far. That means the corners do. The way artists draw mouths is to simplify them into basic shapes. So I'm going to move this to the drawing board. And for the mouth, we're going to start with one circle here and then intersect with two other circles. So these are like the Winter Olympics circles, 3 circles that intersect. So start on your paper with that. Now, where these 3 circles intersect, this is the upper lip.
I can't bring in lucky.
And it curves. Now remember, you guys are unmuted, just to warn you. It curves and it goes off like so. So this is the upper lip. The upper lip overlaps the lower lip. Curves and it goes out. This would be the corner of the mouth. This would be the corner of the mouth. Okay, then the top part on that first circle, we're going to put a little crown on it like this. And then that comes up to a point, goes over to the side, up to a point, over to the side. That helps you get the shape of the top lip. We do the same thing with the bottom lip. The bottom lip is usually fuller and bigger. And now the line in the middle, we start shading. Now the line in the middle is darker because the lip is curled. It curls away from the light. So the top lip is facing down and is always darker than the bottom lip. The top lip doesn't get as much light as the bottom lip does. Now this set of lips is pretty puffy and big. Not everyone is going to have such large lips. Sometimes people have very thin lips. So you have to really look at the shape you're drawing. Once you have the upper lip, the bottom lip is mostly in light, so you're not going to put as much shadow on it. You'll also be able to see some creases in the lip, so I'm sketching those creases, and the corners of the mouth will be the darkest place. Okay, and then the last thing is I'm erasing out any guidelines. And there you have a nice, sumptuous, big, kissable mouth. Now, again, not everybody is going to have such big lips. And sometimes you may find it easier to, instead of starting off with the circles, it may be easier to start off with a center line. So here's the line that separates the two lips. That's the center line. And if their lips are very slight, then it may just be a gentle rise and a value change. So this is what, really skinny, thin lips would look like. There's not much surface texture to it. The top one would be a lot darker. The only real difference between the two is the line that separates. Needless to say, men tend to have thinner lips, women tend to have fuller lips. Different races may have different features that are indigenous. What's important is to look at the shape and draw that particular shape. So look at yourself for a second and look at the shape of your own mouth. Is the top lip dark? Is it thin? Is it curved? Does it have a pronounced center part under the divot? Is the lower lip really pillowy? Does it stick out? Or is it thin and flat? And for the next exercise, draw your mouth. Look in the mirror or look at the Zoom video and draw your particular mouth. Okay, let's start finishing up these mouths. As you're working, I'm going to show you a variation on the method I just taught you. Now, if you happen to be lucky enough to have some very full lips, then you might want to reverse the order of your circles and have your circles bigger on top and smaller on bottom. And then this would be the upper lip. And this would be like movie star Marilyn Monroe, big lips. This would be the bottom lip. And that would be the corners of the mouth. But you can see how having those big circles on the top really helps give some shape. So however you use the circles, you put them in the fattest part of the lip, and that helps you get the roundedness of the lip. Okay, who wants to show their mouth? Kathy, do you want to unmute your iPhone? Okay, hey,
Wow.
your mouth. I love it. You got the corners of it perfect.
Wow, well done.
That is beautiful.
Not that one.
Kathy, you really knocked it out of the park. Let's give her a round of applause. Nicely done. Beautiful lips, my friend.
Thank you.
This one's Arlene's, the bottom one.
Okay, I'm putting you in the spotlight. And look at that. Hey, you got the darkness of the upper lip and the way it comes to a point on either side and the thickness of the lower lip. That looks good, Joe. Very
Good job.
let's give him and his beautiful model a round of applause. And Arlene, did you get a chance to do Joe?
Hard time because he has an extra line here and shading down here. So I tried to do some shade and a line, but it didn't come out nice.
And the light really catches his lower lip.
Uh-huh.
And there's a little divot right above the upper lip. Yep, very classic.
I used to play tuba, so I got big lips.
I guess that's helpful, huh?
No, actually, no, it was actually the best.
I like this one better.
That reminds me of those big red lip pillows.
Yes, me and my red lipstick.
Well, you have beautiful lips, Arlene. Let's give her a applause.
Thank you.
You guys have a good sense of humor too for drawing.
You have to.
You have to.
Vivian, did you get a chance to finish? Make sure you unmute. Oh, hey, look at that. You know, besides the fact that you're always smiling,
Yeah.
that looks exactly like you. That's really pretty. You even got a little shadow in the center of your lip.
Right.
Very
Wow.
good.
Very nice. We're not muted.
Let's give Vivian a round of applause. That studio is getting filled up back there. It's nice to see you working. Who else is finished? Oh, hi. I'm gonna
Hello.
highlight on you. How are you?
I'm good.
Did you get a chance to sketch your lips?
Well, I sketched lips. I'm not sure they're mine.
Very pretty. You have pretty lips. I like the shape, especially the shading between the lips. It really shows the difference between the upper lip and the lower lip. Those look terrific. What do other people think? They're all muted. Let's give her a round of applause. Nice look.
Good job.
Okay, who else? Rita, haven't heard from you.
I never did this, so anyhow, I couldn't figure out how to do it except to put it underneath the eye that we did because I didn't have any perspective, so I'll just show you quickly.
Okay, hey, that looks terrific, and it looks like your mouth. Actually, you know, with your lips, your upper lip is almost the same size as your lower lip. You did that beautifully. You really captured it.
That's a great job.
Yeah, very
That's
nice.
the first time I ever did my self-portrait there, but I had no concept of how to do it except next to the others, so.
That's okay.
That was the most I've ever stared at my face ever.
Beautifully done, my friend. Let's give her a round of applause. You're really looking at those features and you're capturing them just like you see them. Good work. Brenda, do you want to show us yours? I know you can't talk, but maybe you can show a picture. Are you busy getting love? Okay, good. Hey, I see the mouth. That looks like a cute little boy mouth. Let's give Brenda a nice round of applause. And I'm thinking that's your grandson or son. We'll give him a nice round of applause too. Okay, did anyone else get a chance to do the mouth? If you want to put yours up there, just unmute yourself. Okay, well, since we have only 5 minutes left, I'll take Rita out of the hot spot here. I am not going to torture you by making you do all of your facial features in order on the head in proportion, which is what I was going to do. So be glad you only have 5 minutes left. Instead, I'm going to do a quick demonstration in ears. So that way nobody gets as frustrated as Van Gogh and resorts to such unusual and unethical levels. So to curb that, we're going to move to the easel, and I'm going to start on an ear, and we're just going to have about 5 minutes, so it'll be enough time for me to show you the shape, and in the future maybe ears won't seem so intimidating. Now the basic shape of an ear is it goes up, curves down, and then connects. Now the rules of proportion with the ear is this would be eye level right here. So that's eye level. This would be the line. Let me flip to the front camera. That would be the line that coincides with the divot above your upper lip. So if you were to make a line straight across from the side here, that's where the bottom part of your ear runs into the head. So this is a line right from here to here. And then right behind here is where the neck starts. So the neck starts right behind the ear. The bottom of the ear lines up with that little divot above the upper lip. So on the drawing board, this would be the divot above the upper lip. This would be where the neck would begin, right back in there. So inside the ear, there are a lot of small little shapes. The first one is that little curve that comes out of flesh, and then there's a bigger curve around the outer edge, which flattens out towards the tip. Down here you
Sean, may I ask, please, your pencil is so light this time. I don't know why. The other things I could see, I barely see what you're showing for us.
Let me bear down a little harder. So this is like the outer lip of the ear. And in it, is there's an ear canal, which goes usually right behind this little divot that pops out. And that's the darkest part of the ear. That's like a little negative space shape inside the ear that's rounded. And then this shape empties out. So all of this is very dark up in here. And you don't have to memorize the specific shapes in here. You just have to look at them in terms of values. Where is it darker? Where does it get lighter? And so on. And you'll see that ears are more about the value than they are about the shape. So here's that dark. Now the earlobe itself is usually pretty thick. And it may have some texture on it. If you have worn long earrings all your life, then it may be stretched. And it may be wider down here than it is in other parts. If you have heart disease, too, the earlobes tend to be a little longer. Okay? So that's basically it. With the ears, there's just values. Values are key. You've got to remember to get those values and the ear will start to take shape. Most often, ears are covered by hair, so you rarely ever see the whole ear when you're doing a portrait, which is real helpful. And you're just gonna see little parts of it peeking out. Okay, so remember to reduce everything down to basic shapes. So basic shapes are the building blocks of all the features on the human head. So keep it simple, and as you're sketching, really draw what you see. So as you're looking at that person, look at the shape of the lips, the shape of the nose, and so forth, and use small rounded shapes to help you get to some of the bigger, more complex shapes. All right?
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you all for joining me. It was a pleasure and an honor to get to work with you again. The next class I have is a color theory class, I believe, through the library, and we're doing a complementary palette still life, which is a quick painting using whatever medium you happen to have around. I can't access my calendar right now because it's up there on that phone, but look up
September 30th, I think, right? The September 30th class?
what she says. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Sean. I learned a lot from you. Thank you.
My
Look
pleasure.
forward to the next one. And Amber, if you ever have any more in October, I'd love to join. It's a wonderful, wonderful, cheery thing to do in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
Sean, what are we for the coloring?
all any paints we have.
Anything you have, Joe. So if you happen to have a set of watercolors, I'll be demonstrating in watercolor, but pastel, acrylic, anything you have around the house.
Okay, thank you.
Sean, thank you so much.
Thank
This was
you.
absolutely wonderful.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
It's a joy to work with you all. And once again, this is recorded. If you need a recording to go back over it, check out Amber at Clearwater Library. And